Hello, this is Chaplain Kerry, and I wanted to share with you just for maybe a minute or two, perhaps. Um, and it's from the book of Philemon. This is what Paul wrote to Philemon, and it's verse number 6. And Paul was telling Philemon to talking about in verse 6, talking about communi- his communication of the faith, his communication of the gospel, um, that it would be effectual to those that hear his message. Now, Paul heard about Philemon's faith, and so he started praying for Philemon. And but the thing is that Philemon was noted as a preacher, a minister, or a Christian. A Christian, let me say it like that. He was noted as a Christian because he spoke the faith. He talked about the faith, the gospel. And Paul wanted him to know and understand, to take knowledge of all the things that was in him in reference to the faith. Now, I know a lot of people, maybe yourself, you would say, well, I know there's a lot of things in me and it doesn't equal up to faith. Um, what Paul was saying, for him to be knowledgeable in the things that are in him in Christ, and knowing these things would be effective when he's communicating his faith through his lifestyle and through his speech and talking to others. You see, being a Christian is a calling, ministry that the Lord has given to us to be a witness. He said, I'll make you a witness, a Christian. That's what a Christian is. A Christian is a witness. Uh, you know, people would say, hey, I'm a Christian, but, you know, they never talk about Jesus. They talk about everything else. They never talk about the gospel. They would talk about everything else in the world, but when it comes to the gospel, you don't hear a word. You don't hear a peep out of them. You know, and the Lord didn't call people to shut their mouths. The Lord called people to open up their mouths, to be a witness. And Paul was telling Philemon that by him knowing, being knowledgeable of what's in him, by him knowing the exact things that are in him in Christ would make his communication more effective to others. You see, as a Christian, you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. You are an ambassador. The things that you say in Christ count. The Lord will back up every word that you say in reference to the gospel. He'll back it up. He'll confirm it. The Lord, He told us that He will never leave us nor forsake us. He will be with us always. He will be with our mouths. When we preach the gospel, He'll confirm His word. His word will go out and do exactly what He wants done. And so when we Christians, when we speak the gospel, when we preach the gospel, tell others about Jesus, talk about sin, righteousness, and judgment, the Spirit of God will convict people of sin, righteousness, and judgment. The Spirit of God will touch people's hearts. Years ago, 1979, there was a man named Mike Bryant, and he told me about Jesus. I worked with him for a couple of years, but the first 8 months or so of me working with Mike Bryant years ago, I worked at Lockheed Martin Marietta at that time, the external tank for the space shuttle. He would talk about sin, righteousness, judgment all the time. And if Mike wouldn't have communicated his faith to me in that way, the words of life would have never been sown in my heart. The seed of life would never been sown in my heart. The Spirit of God could never have convicted me, draw me to Jesus Christ. And on September 30th, 1979, I was born again. I would have never been born again, if it wasn't for Mike. being a Christian, sharing the gospel all the time, every time with people. And that's what a Christian is. A Christian is someone who is a light, is a light. The Lord says we don't light up a candle or stick it on the table. We light it up so all can see the light. You know, we're a city on the hill, a city that all can see, not hid somewhere in the deep, dark valleys, in the caves, but up on the hill. And that's who we are as Christians. So I hope you would go to Philemon and read it. It's not many verses in that particular letter. And take notice of verse 6. To communicate your faith. That's what needs to be done. Your faith needs to be communicated through not just living the lifestyle of a Christian. Yeah, that's what we do naturally. I mean, that's what we do because we're a Christian. But to open your mouth and then speak, preach, proclaim the gospel. And not back off from the things that are, as some would say, controversial, but speak the truth in love. Speak the truth in love. Stand on the rock. When the storm comes, you will stand. The house will stand as the Lord has promised. So this is Chaplain Kerry saying, until next time, God bless you, and hope to see you at the Truck Stop Ministry in Slidell, Louisiana. 8 o'clock Sunday mornings. We go from 8 to sometimes almost 12. On average, about 10:30ish is when we stop. It's I-10 exit 266. So come on down. When you're down this way, come visit, and let's worship Jesus together. Okay, my friend. God bless you. Goodbye.